Okay.
Hi guys, if you can see me and Uncle can hear our voice,
Hello,
please
hello everyone.
write name in the chat box so that we know you are here. Sometimes we have been talking for a few minutes, but then nobody hear us. So please do that. On the right hand side, there's a chat box. You can just write your name to show that you are here. Okay,
Hello, hi George.
okay, hi Josh. Hi Jessica. So I think people can see us and hear us. So hopefully it's going well. No, I think there are 16 people here. So Uncle, let's start. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, everybody, because we are from different time zones. So hopefully everybody is well and happy. And I'm actually very happy to be here together with Uncle, the founder of Longshot.ai, to have this webinar with you guys. So before we start, let me introduce myself. After that, I will introduce Uncle. Then we'll go into the webinar proper. So my name is Albert Tan from downloadsilo.com. Most of you know me in the Download Silo Facebook group or from my website. So my website actually is what I call curation of lifetime deals, all kind of digital marketing tools, in one place. So we have a very active Download Silo Facebook group as well, and hopefully, more people will join us, in the webinar, in our Facebook group, and also in our website. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Uncle, so that you know who is he and what is he doing. So basically, Uncle is a serial entrepreneur based in Bombay, India. So he has founded Longshot AI maybe quite some time back. I'm not too sure the exact date, but I came to know about Longshot AI in May 2021, just about 3 months ago, So I was one of the early beta tester of this app. And now, Uncle has made a lot of sales in this Delify.com platform. So with this, I would like to ask Uncle to give us a little bit background of his app himself, and then after that, he will go straight into the webinar. We don't waste time. Uncle, please.
Yeah. So hello everyone. We are so glad to be here. And thanks Albert for introducing me. So yes, there's this is actually a new product comparatively speaking. We launched around March, April itself. Like first we did some kind of beta testing in which like Albert was one of the early ones, and like with the feedback and with the support, we have grown a lot really, in these few short months for a startup. So I'm really grateful. Some of you are, I know actually I can recognize some of you who are supporters, customers, etc. So thanks again. And others would be new here. So I'll assume that, I'll kind of introduce Longshot from scratch. It might be a bit repetitive for some of you, but then please bear with me. This webinar will also be recorded, so we'll share it. Am I right, Albert? Right? So I mean, this will be recorded. You'll share the recording, I believe, right?
Yes, there's a recording, no problem.
Great. And I'll also take the question. I think first we'll give some kind of demo, and then we'll definitely keep on sort of just taking the questions related to features and other roadmap and stuff like that. So Longshot is one of the AI writing tools, which the vision of the product is to sort of integrate three aspects of writing, especially long form writing. So and these three aspects are research, generation, and optimization. So again, I'll just repeat this: research, generation, and optimization. And we, as I mentioned, and as the name also suggests, we are slightly more focused on blog post and long text content, which can be optimized for the web, which can rank high, etc. Right? So let me introduce what the reasoning behind it. when we a few months back, I think lots of you probably would know that recent few months have seen a lot of products which are of the sort of AI writing, right? Some are good, bad, ugly, and some do really good job, and others are into their own niche. So we of course, there's no two ways about that. We also are in some sense leveraging the same type of technologies like OpenAI and GPT-3. And this is, of course, these last 1 year has been, although world has suffered a lot because of COVID crisis, but some really new fantastic developments has happened in AI field, which has enabled entrepreneurs like me to help you guys, content guys and marketer guys better in and kind of bridge the gap between and make your work more efficient. It is, of course, to enable you. So but what we realize is that the problem or the challenges of long form content are a bit different from, let's say, producing an ad or a marketing copy only, etc. Right? So it is, first of all, long, which is pretty evident, but it is also, that lots of blogs, etc. are actually, it's not enough to that they are creative, that they are like written in a very in a style which is a bit engaging or very sort of human like, but they also need to solve a purpose. They need to have the right content, in the sense that they need to sort of cover the aspects which the writer wants to, and they also need to make sure that they have all the sort of checks and balances, so that they can rank high. What does rank high even mean? Rank high in the sense that you are writing this post or long content for someone, maybe your clients, maybe your readers directly, but they need to see it. So there's no purpose that the blog is written in an extremely creative way, but nobody really reads it, right? So no, it's like the web engine, search engine never sort of index them. So this is also something we kind of take into account while we sort of think about this product. So our goal is to focus more on the problems of long form content writers and marketers, which are too many. Lots of people actually I have encountered. I mean, of course, there will be a in this webinar there will be a demo, but I will also cover the ground, right? Like philosophy of it. So lots of people also ask me that, is it going to, like, there are two questions I get a lot, really. So one of the question is that, can it produce blog in one go? Of course not, right? And this is never our intention. It is not going to, like, I'll repeat, like, at the cost of even pissing you off some people and maybe be disappointing even. So we are not a spammy product where, like, some people some products which are which basically try to spin the article may do this, right? They will probably fetch an article from the web and kind of rewrite in such a way that it is not detected by plagiarism checkers, and that's all they sort of ensure. And then they will kind of this is not what we want to do. We want you to be the writer. We are just the steroids, right? So it's like, whatever you are writing, we are not going to zero your writing time. We are going to maybe 10x your writing time, or even faster, even once you get the hang of it. But we are never going to, I mean, never is a strong word. And there's another reason for it. The reason is that, can you even imagine a long post being written in one go? Because, like, if you can, like, are you going to give AI the liberty to write whatever it wants? Is it like, even if it is super correct and factual, most of the users at least want to sort of make it guided in such a way that they, it's a bit of an adaptive process, that they want something to be written which is maybe inside their head, and maybe they kind of search from the web, dig from the competition websites, etc. And then they, once they have written a few paragraphs, they then get newer ideas, and so on and so forth. We have talked to few actual writers, and we have seen that this is the process they follow. So if somebody actually really wants to, or attempt to write a blog, long form, like 1,000-2,000 word blog post in one go, this is invariably that they are going to sort of maybe fish the article from somewhere else. So I hope that I made myself very clear. And second is a related question, which is that is it going to be a replacement of content writers? I mean, even as a technologist, even somebody who has worked in machine learning for close to a decade, this is never going, like, again, like, never in this case is a hard word, but I would say in next 10 years, this is not going to sort of take place. See, this is nothing but this is basically creating, making you out of your jams, making you out of your sort of writer's block rather. Humans have too many, there are lots of things which it's like, let's say if you use Grammarly, are you ever in doubt that, it's going to replace you as a content marketer? If that was the case, then maybe something you're doing was not enough in the first place, right? So it is going to do exactly what you want, but just faster, right? What you had been doing, it is going to do the same thing, but faster. So I think with that sort of, setup, let me directly jump into, a demo, and then we will kind of pause and maybe I'll take questions, etc. Right? So thanks, Vinny. Vinny is a good friend, and I see he's here. Okay. So let me kind of let's share my screen. Right. So once again, I'm assuming that at least some of you are not even familiar with what is Longshot. So once you kind of enter the product, this is the kind of screen you are greeted with. So I have produced like these 3 blocks. So you can see, these 3 different blocks which I had produced before. And
Uncle, you can off your video so that the screen look bigger. Your share screen look bigger. You
so
off your video.
Turn off my. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
All right, great.
Yeah, that will be better.
Sure. So this is how the screen would look like. So far I had created 3 blocks just a few days back, and this is how they sort of look like. You can open it, so you can kind of read the full blog, and I'm going to click on create new to write a new blog from research to sort of optimization phase, right? Before that, just a short note. So what we have done is that we have noticed that lots of you are basically have too many different types of blog you want to write. Let's say, and this is because you might have different clients, or you serve like few different niche, right? So this is why we have project structure. So as long as as soon as you sort of go to the blog, there is a default project. So you can of course rename it. That you can say that it's my first cool project. And you can then create a new project. So, and this is basically done in order to sort of separate out your different types of content, right? So maybe in this particular, you can then switch from my cool project to XYZ project, so that you can kind of segregate your different blogs. So one blog can, or a set of blogs rather. So a set of blogs can be in one project and then another project. So we hope that this is helpful enough. Like this, and the reason is that few of you have asked that do we have a folder structure? So it's not directly folder, but this is a project structure. Okay, so as a side note, now let me click on create new. So this is our flagship feature rather. And what do I mean by this? So you can see that if you just want to do specific stuff, like for example, you want to extend text, rephrase, create headline, create intro, get some blog ideas, and so on, you can use all these things. Like if there are some 8 to 10 things, you can do one of these. But then, like our emphasis or our flagship feature is, where you basically create a blog from start to end. So I today want to create a blog, let's say on impact of AI on jobs. So once I click on it, what I'll first, and you can of course, basically do the search based on the country you want, right? Like the important searches in a country, but I'm default, it chooses US because so far most of our audience come from US. So once you click this, it basically tells you some important keywords, and it will also tell you some popular headlines. So what we do is we scan for few top text from the Google based on this particular topic, and then we see what are the sub headlines they are using, right? And then we do some kind of deduplication, and this is what we get. It also fetches top questions from Quora, Google, and Reddit, right? So there might be some glitches, and also show you some search volume. So this is not without taking names, this may probably not be as exhaustive as some of the keyword or research only tools would do, right? But there comes an interesting part, which I'll show to you in just like few seconds. So I believe that this is a integrated tool and this is enough for you to get started. So the way it works is that once you sort of do a search, you can then keep on selecting something. Like, you have a sort of idea to write a blog on impact of AI on jobs. And then maybe you want to select this one, impact the future. And then maybe, intelligence impact employment. These are the sort of phrases you want to select. And then maybe something else, maybe nothing from here, maybe from popular subheadlines. Yeah, this sounds good. AI needs human ingenuity. So so this is a selection I'm making. And I'll just show you what I'm going to do with the selection. Then I can also pick some top questions from any of this. For the interest of time, let me just pick something. Then I can always kind of, do a search on similar topics. Let's say I then decide to do something on, future of jobs, future of work rather. Okay. So future of work is similar topics. So we are going to get similar, but maybe, something new, right? So maybe we are going to get keywords like, I don't know, this is giving some names from transformation of work. And then, so it might look a bit dirty and scattered, but just bear with me. I'll show you that how does this combine into a neat structure for a blog. Okay, future of women at work. Maybe this is what I want to select. So let me sort of freeze my selection here. So see, what I've done is so far that I had a rough sketch of my, what the topic I'm going to choose and write on. And then the second thing I did was that I basically selected some keywords, top headlines, pop sub-headlines and questions based on these. Now, all these, this is like basically a raw material for me. And I'm going to create a headline based on it. So we give you three options. Like you can either create a CTA style headline, where basically CTA, as you would know, that it's it is going to tell the reader to click on some button, do something, go to some, etc. Right? Listicle is very evident and descriptive. So descriptive is most generic. So let me create headlines based on these. So I'll just click on headlines and wait for a few seconds. So yeah. So what it has done is that it has created headlines based on these selection, right? So we have something structured now, right? So it has taken into account my selection, my brief research steps, and then it has given me a headline which are going to subsume all this information. So see, if you remember, we had selected something based on future of women, right? So it has created a headline like this, and you can create a selection, save something if you like. Maybe you want to do it more than once, right? So let's say you like these two, and then you can regenerate and give you something else. So you can keep on doing this n number of times. Right, again, something related to women and AI and jobs, right? So it has kind of combined all this intelligence to give you something meaningful, something which looks like a descriptive headline. So let's see, these are the three things I like. And what I want to do, I think I would like to write maybe today something simpler. Yeah, okay, let me regenerate again. Okay, let's select this. So what I've done is that, you probably get the idea that I can keep on doing all this, and I can keep on making a selection and then basically choose something which is completely appropriate with what I'm going to write. But don't worry, I'm not going to lose all this information just yet. So this information is going to be handy because you have not just selected all these in order to only create a headline. You are going to use this in order to actually create the blog too, right? So all this, in some sense, as I mentioned, is going to be a raw material for the blog. I'm just going to create. You can always edit it if you want. So, but then let me jump directly to the outline section. So again, as many of you would probably agree that a structured process of writing blog would start with creating a headline first, which might sound counterintuitive to a few of you, but this is based on what we have when we actually spoke with some few of the writers. Because what happens is that we have learned that writers tend to, at least the ones we spoke to, the good ones actually, they actually have some rough understanding of the article they are going to write on. But then the first thing they do is actually decide upon a headline. And this is because headline is the most critical component, right? You need to make sure that the headline is really good. Now, maybe a fiction writer won't do it. But here in this context, the product is more geared towards the marketing style and the writers who are going to write for the web for an audience, right? So we have this sort of top-down approach where we first nail the headline, and the second thing we are going to do is nail the outline. So again, like the same thing applies. You can first make a selection of the outline that you from 3 to 10. You can actually create more than 10 also, but then just for the interest of being a close, you can we gave you option from 3 to 10. So let's say for the interest of demo and time, I'll just create 3 blog outlines. So these 3 blog outlines today will use. So this is also going to use all these selected keywords. And again, like I can make a selection from this. I like this. Maybe if you remember, this was already a something from the research section we had selected, right? You can actually make a selection from this, and so on. And you can then, if you're unhappy with all of this, you can just generate it again and keep on doing it. So we have seen that it generally takes 2 to 3 iterations and edits for you to perfect it. So again, caveat here, some of you users have this confusion that, once I click, it has not given me appropriate results. So what do I do? You just click again, right? So it's like the point is that just understand some of it is also a subjective. So what is appropriate for one of you may not be appropriate for the other, right? So therefore, the AI would resample and create something, and will keep on doing it. And every time it'll keep on doing giving you a new thing. And then it's up to you to make the selection and do necessary edits and maybe swapping the order, etc. if you want. So what I've done is I have tried to sort of create. I have basically this is the third time I'm kind of clicking on outline, and so this was repetitive. So I'll probably delete it. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll select all these 3. So the way it should be that I have selected all the. Sorry, this was repetitive. Yeah. So I have done some mix and match and saving from the sub headline also, because one of the caveat here is that we also give you sub headlines here, because we have noticed that you can directly either use or edit the sub headlines which are already the good sub headlines rather, which are already being used for this particular topic, right? So you can directly use them and edit them also. Now what I've done so far is that I made this selection 3. So in practice, you'll probably need more than 3. You'll probably need something like 8 to 10 sub headlines in order to create a full blog. But so far, what I've done in order to show, I've selected all these 3 sub headlines or outline. You can always edit it. You can kind of maybe change the order, etc. Right. So let's see. This is what I'm doing. So just a recap. So far, what has happened is that we have done something like we have basically did some research. Then we did based on that we generated lots of headlines, and then we kind of nailed this headline. And then again we repeated the same process using the already sort of selected keywords and questions. We created a set of outline. We kind of did some selection, deselection, etc. And after a couple of attempts, we nailed on these outline. Now, before going to generate and improve blog, let me kind of switch my screen and see if there are some questions. So I'll just scroll through the questions you have written. Okay, so I'll probably go from. So Abhishek had asked that I would love to understand the use case of on non-IT content creation. See, of course, the content here is generic. So in principle, so this is the keyword. In principle, you can generate anything. What we have seen in practice is, and this is the limitation of the AI we are using, as well as the limitation of some type of niche, is that if the content is very new, let's say you are going to write a review on iPhone 12, right? So it may fail, or it may give you inappropriate result. There is a workaround, and which I'll talk about. And it is in general content agnostic, like or rather niche agnostic. So I'll tell you, in order to complete the answer, I'll share one workaround and the workaround I'll share while creating the blog, which I'll go back in a minute. But another thing I'll also share is that I'll also it is also that we are developing niche specific AI. So far what we have done is that we have selected 12 niche, the most popular ones, and these niche are like software product reviews and things like fitness and health, etc. So there will be separate models released for very soon, like very soon in the sense of a couple of weeks or so, where you can basically, let's say you're not happy with, you are writing on fitness as a niche, and in the default mode, so to speak, you see the generated content and you're not super happy with this. So you can then change from general or generic to this particular niche, in this case fitness and health, and then you can ask the AI to generate the content same with the same toolkits we will use, but now your niche is now specified. So what we have seen in our internal beta testing, that this is producing better results for this niche, right? So this is going to completely be a complete game changes for the niche we are going to release first, right? And the reason, so we are, of course, we can't release all the niche because there are too many, right? I mean, of course, there's an infinite number of possible niche, right? So, but we have selected some 12 top niche based on what you guys have written so far on the app, and as well as that what we have seen that the content marketers generally interested in. And then we, depending on sort of the feedback and the inputs we get, we'll dig deeper. Either we'll dig deeper or we'll expand these niche. So Abhishek, I believe that I answered your question at least partly. There is already a current workaround which I'll just show you. Okay, so I'll see another questions. Anything else? Can I write in selected keywords questions to add more? Of course, you can definitely add or edit anything. So the question was that can you write it, something of your own here? You can, of course, I can write something here. There's nothing. So, this is basically a text box, right? So you can just type or even edit this. If you're not happy with the selection, you are not obliged to use this. You can do some edits and sort of, corrections, if you will, right? Sometimes like for example, here, this is probably meaningless, EP1, because we have just picked the headline. So the AI has not recognized that, okay, this was just a sort of, number, right? This is not really part. So if you select this, of course, you need to clean this part in order for it to be slightly more meaningful. It is not going to give you much of the difference, but the idea is you probably get the idea that, you can do your own additions, edits, deletions, whatever you want. And I'll take one thing. So Louis has asked that whether, increasing the, so there is a constant, increasing of sort of or limits and, character counts happening. So, which is basically something which will keep on evolving. Again, we are in some sense constrained also by some of the guidelines you have to follow. But I think a few of you already know, right? That this is going to change like in October. So without kind of, delving very too deep on it, in October, there are lots of new guidelines which are going to be released by few of the, like the AIs we use. Now we also use a sort of gamut of things. We don't just use the popular, GPT-3 by OpenAI. We also use some of others, but we also use that. So we have to, like no matter how less you use it, you have to still abide by the guidelines, right? So because of reasons involving those, we sometimes have to honor those. But this is going to improve or increase in no time, right? Like in October, there'll be a major reshuffling of all these limits. I believe this is going to happen in other products also, but let me confine my points of view and thoughts as of now with respect to Longshot. And then just to answer a quick last question from Denny Surya, is the AI learning your writing style? So AI is yes and no. So the thing is that this is I'm not sure how technically deep answer you are looking for. So it does look back a bit. Like for example, once you write something and and I'll again demonstrate this, it will look back a bit and see that, okay, so far what has been written, and it'll try to copy that. So far, in such sense, it does try to mimic your writing style. But if you want something of the nature where, and this is a question I was asked on the Facebook group, like a couple of days back, we are also working on a feature where you can actually upload a set of blog written by you. Let's say you have written, like, I don't know, 20 blogs, and you can just upload it somewhere, right? And this will then will run our AI in the back. It will not be instantaneous. We'll do some processing at the back end, and then it will be more faithful to what you precisely in your past has written, right? In case there is a consistent pattern, we sort of pick up, right? So I hope that you get the gist of what I'm trying to sort of answer here. Okay, so back to the blog. So far we were here in the outline part, right? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just click on generate and improve blog. Yeah. So let's first understand what it has given us. So it has given us, first of all, it has copied all this what we have selected in the editor. So this is the editor. And by the way, just a note, you can always go to the editor directly. Like, you don't have to, like, you can basically kind of, you create a new thing and just go to the blog if you want. You don't have to, if you don't want to do all the research, outline, headline, and all those stuff, you can just go to the blog also. So, okay, so we were here, right? So, so far what it has given us. So let's see. It has given us a headline. Like, this was already there. It has copied all these things to the editor. It has given us an intro, the main intro, right? Maybe we'll edit this one. And it has given us, but what are you going to do with this? But before that, like, let me just complete my chain of thought. It has given us some power words, and some of you who are in the SEO world will know what is this, right? So this is basically how much emotions we have used. So sometimes it's good to use this. We are going to expand this feature even more. And this is readability. Readability is a score we give where, like, basically which tells you that how complex or easy it is. And this is basically, this is in some sense largely also governed by the topic you choose. So topics which have things like technical things like AI and all tend to be fairly complex to it, because we are basically benchmarking it against all possible blogs, right? So blogs will be something like fashion blog, beauty blog, lifestyle blog, kids blog, and so from that comparison, it is fairly complex to read. So this readability score so far will not tell you that is it complex to read with respect to the topic you have chosen. So there's something which will be so this is more of a general complexity, and then this is a standard word count. But now what is this, right? So this is basically, again, like, while we were developing all this, we know that the topic you have selected, the topic we had selected was what, like, a future of work and how AI will impact jobs. So it has picked up some popular keywords which it has seen in the blogs which are already been written rather in this particular sort of topics, right? And it has basically listed it here. So the idea is that you, in some sense, we have gamified this, because what you as a writer would want to do is that you would want to have at least some of the selection here. You would want to make sure that in this particular blog, it is recommended, because arguably these are the things which are basically picked up by the search engine to rank high. So you don't want to, on one hand, you don't want to kind of infest all the keywords, but you at least want to do some word selection. And how to precisely do that, I'll come in a minute. Let me just start with this. So what I want to do is that I have written so far, and you can always basically, while you're doing all this and you're confused that what are the possibilities, you can just click here, right? There'll be some kind of tool which will start, or you can click here. And this is, in some sense, the menu we have provided you in terms of blog generation. So you can, let me start with using something, what we call it Unstuck Me. Now, what is Unstuck Me? Unstuck Me is nothing but what if you are creating the blog, in this sense, how AI will change the face of the workforce, and now you want to you have kind of run out of ideas, and what you simply want to do is you want AI to tell you something which is related, but at the same time, kind of, in some sense, breaking the mold, so to speak. So we'll do some word selection. You can type your own words, or you can select from the drop down menu, which is nothing but this. So it is recommended that you use at least one of this, because this is already a popular set of keywords. So let's see, what if we select something like, I don't know, AI is already selected, which is pretty obvious. I'll select something like accelerated existing. I can just accelerated learning. Maybe I'll kind of, and I will, choose radical shifts. So let me do all the, make these two keyword or key phrases selection, and let's see what happens when I click on generate. Okay, so it has given me something, right? Now again, this is you can always do it again. Let's say you want to do it again, you can do it again. You can again, this was already selected. Okay,
How long it take to?
It takes some 10 to 15 seconds mostly.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay, sometimes this is incomplete. So okay, so something like this, right? Now it is, as you can probably just visually you can look at it and tell that this is related to the workforce, AI, etc., right? And it is given completely new paragraph. Now, what does it tell you, right? It might tell you something which you had already not covered. So, and it has also told you things which were not all. So basically, the way it is used by the users who have used it is to kind of break the mold of the writing. So I have actually used it a bit prematurely. Generally the a good point to use it is when you have written a long enough blog, maybe 500 word blog, and then you are kind of stuck, right? So in those scenario, it is a good idea to click on this. So okay, now so this is one of the feature I just demoed. Other things you want to, which are kind of standard, is something you want to basically want to generate intros for all these outlines, right? So by the way, the users who have already been using the product know that this is slight change we have done in order to sort of refine the product. So initially what we used to do was we will give you intro on one go, but we have kind of changed a bit. And now as soon as you select this sub headline or outline, you are kind of presented with a generate intro option. And once you click on it, it'll ask you that, what do you really want, right? In this, you can maybe give a keyword or maybe, describe something. So how AI will change the face of the workforce. Let's say I want to write something on the lines of, let's say, I don't know, let's see, what do I want to write about? Let's say third world countries, third world. So it is not guaranteed that it's going to use it, and maybe you have to do a couple of sort of iterations. And let's say I want to write something on, I don't know, maybe just for the women, right? So this is, so let's hope that, it kind of picks these words and tries to give you the intro for this while using all these. See, so what it has done is it has actually used, it has given an intro, which will be the intro of this particular outline, but it has also included something I actually asked it to do. So it has not directly included third world countries, but it has rather included things like labor market, but it has actually mentioned women, right? So this is how, like, we have seen that this workflow, which is in some sense two-step workflow, has massively improved the quality of the intro you get. You can definitely, at any point, by the way, this is, I'm kind of repeating myself the third time, but this is something we have seen that lots of users still ask us. You're not obliged to use this. You can definitely edit it out, correct it, delete it entirely, and, generate things from scratch. And, the standard thing here to do is that, you can just expand the content. So expansion of the content would entail that you select something, and then from there, you just, kind of, it will basically build upon this, which brings us to an aha moment. And I'll tell you what this aha moment is. So it has told you something which you probably, at least I didn't know, right? AI could be something of miracle. It's not if, but when, says Linda Goetz, or, now it has basically given us some quote, which sounds fascinating rather, but is it really correct? Now, just beware. And this is not just our problem. So the AI at this, the state of the art of the AI is really good at mimicking rather human style writing, but is extremely bad at, giving factually accurate content, right? And it will be in such a surreptitious way that you won't even notice it, right? So, but then you run a risk of producing a factually incorrect content. So what to do about it, right? So this is something we were aware of, and this is something, part of it we have actually done as a, something which my last startup used to do. So we have taken a piece of that tech and kind of implemented here, and I'll just show you. So let's say you're not really sure that is this thing really true. That, I mean, in the first place, is this Linda Goetz real woman? And if she is, then is she the the head of whatever, right, at GE Digital? So I can just do a fact check. And what does fact check do? Fact check would actually search for this in the trusted websites and will return you something. Okay. So it has told us really, this looks like a false, subjective or vague statement. So right? So you should not include it, right? At least, like, we have taken a lot of precaution that this would, I mean, I'll just show you a demonstrate, like, I don't know, like, give you a small demo that, is this not fooling you? Elon Musk, or I mean, there was this already, I'll just, as you can see that in the fact check, you can always, see that if it is actually saying the same thing for really factually, this is a factually correct statement rather. So what does it tell about this? Yeah. So it does give you, all these terms. So you can rely that, okay, like it is, so for example, this particular fact says it is 1 meter above, but okay. So this still kind of reliable. But for the selection we had made, it is actually kind of categorically stated that this looks like a false or misleading or vague statement, which basically means what? Which basically means that this is something it has not found in a lots, like probably thousands of top sources in the web, which should give you some kind of, like, I'll actually do a Google search rather. In the interest of time, I'll see if does it exist. Linda Goetz, GE Digital. Don't think so, right? So it has pretty much accurately saved you from a possible disaster, that you should rather not use this part. I hope that this feature, I mean, this is still in fancy a bit, but we have seen that it is still pretty helpful to lots of users, which when they kind of doubt something, instead of doing a Google search and trying to figure it out, they can just select something and then see that is it factually correct. And this is much faster way of doing it. Also, we are going to release a support soon that the AI will itself mark some statements for you, that it'll. So there has been an ask that can the AI do fact check in real time and the user don't have to do anything. So again, like this is a bit of trouble, because sometimes user do want to put factually incorrect information for whatever reason they want. Maybe this is they are doing something which is a bit creative in some sense, right? And like, let's say they say the population of Mumbai is, I don't know, 20 million, right? And the AI says that it is factually incorrect. Probably yes, because it is a bit more. But then like basically net it is pretty much near the order of magnitude why it is correct. So sometimes we run into the risk that if we do the fact check for you all at once, then it might be something you don't want, right? So what we are going to release a support soon is that we are going to highlight some text we will expect you to fact check, so that even this time, like this is already a minimized time, but this can be further minimized. So I'll just go back to the room to see if there are any questions for this. Okay, so Derek has basically, been happy for the fact that, thanks Derek. Digital Events has set satire. Okay, I'm probably not sure what is it. Yeah, so you guys can fact check for yourself. Like it is again like not 100% accurate, but it is, of course, the idea is that is it better than you yourself googling it out, or the wrong information surreptitiously kind of making the way in your blog much better, right? I mean, so okay. So I think Albert, you had tagged me somewhere. I think that I missed that part. You had asked. I think you had asked me. Can
Maybe you can explain a little bit about the blog insight? Somebody was Ling Tuhin was asking, can we write summaries? From the
So okay, of course. So there is so far so this is again like something we are whole summary is something we are working on. But while we do that, there is something we have noticed that lots of blogs don't even tend to have a clear one summary. But there is something we have developed which is called blog synopsis or insights, right? Which I'll show you. What it'll do is that it'll kind of pick up some important aspects of the blog and kind of summarize those rather than summarizing the entire one, right? So I'll just demo that also. But before that, let me see, are there other questions which have been left? Okay, I think, so somebody has asked about pro writing aid, etc. So see, like there's nothing preventing you for using other tools or the tools you have been using before. So like, there is, of course, this is not for me to take a call on. There is no integration we have developed with these tools as yet. There is a plan with at least one few of this, but we'll kind of publicly announce it in some time. Somebody has asked an interesting question. Can it help me write books or something? This is not a stupid question to him, so don't worry. I mean, this is a pretty interesting question, and this is exactly what we do. We don't do summaries, but we have something called blog insights. So I'll just take a quick detour from what I was showing you, and I'll actually create you to blog insights. So this is already so I had actually already did it like to prepare the demo. This is a long piece of blog. And I had, already, I can press generate and show you again. So what the AI has done is it has kind of picked up few important pieces from these blogs and kind of given the insights summary. So these are the summaries. So if you can try it yourself, right? You can paste the entire chunk of text here. The chunk could be like really long, up to thousands of words. And then see for yourself that, what insights you get. So it is, again, like just a caution here, don't expect a neat summary yet. Like if it is simple enough article, it'll give you a summary. But then if it is complex article, which is talking about many things, it will, basically what it'll do is that it'll pick some information and try to summarize that information only, like the important features. Also, another thing is that summary is something which is coming, right? We are beta testing it, like even for the really long blog post. So a standard, like a summary, apart from the blog insight feature, is under development. So, okay. So with that detour, I'll go back to the blog and see what else it can do. So, so far I have sort of introduced you guys with a couple of things. I've generated an intro. I've expanded on the content. I have used Unstuck Me. Now let me actually show the synopsis thing. So what you can do is that you can, let's say, make a selection and then click on synopsis. So a synopsis is going to, again, like see the important points covered so far, and then you'll create a summary on that part. So it may not be, so it is pretty much, like the idea of synopsis is that it is more of an insight, like, like once what your reader would do, right? Like reader may not, depending on their sort of interest, they'll basically kind of focus their attention on few of the important points. This is what the synopsis feature does. It'll pick up few important points and try to kind of create a summary for that point only, right? But I think in practice, this is still pretty practical, pretty useful for lots of our users. So I'll kind of undo this and I'll show you what else you can do. Okay. And now we'll come to a feature which is in some sense the lazy generation, and which is nothing but write more. Let's see what happens here. So write more is nothing but if you are feeling lazy and you don't want to do anything, and then click on, like, some generation. Now what it does is that it kind of looks back. It looks back about 100 to 120 words before. So I think somebody asked this question, right? Is it going to mimic? So yes, it is going to mimic in to the extent that it is going to see the actual content you've written and the style you've written so far, and it is going to look back a bit where, so a bit here is about 100 to 120 words, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, somewhere around that 120, 130 words. And then it is going to sort of expand on that. You can click on it again. Okay. Now, once you click third time, right, continuously. So again, we are at this point tied that, our hands are tied in the sense that you can't. So, and see, I mean, I'm not a big fan of just clicking on write more and producing the entire blog in one go. But then we also have to abide by certain restrictions. So after 2 clicks, what you have to do, and this is the only feature which has some kind of, at least in our menu, which has some kind of like a limitation of the sort I'm going to just, explain. So before clicking on it the third time, we ask you to write 100 characters or about 20 odd words. So you can either write or edit or, change, right? So let's say see if I just delete this, maybe delete the whole. Okay, not delete this one, but let me see if I just delete the previous something, right? I can still use Write-More. So you can either edit, delete, or add something extra, right? For some reason, it is going again, like French language skills. It is kind of focusing on that is probably because first of all that it has talked a bit about French to English. So if you were to correct it, maybe you wrote Spanish here, so it'll now focus on Spanish, and also that maybe it has seen like that. So this particular AI has been trained on millions or probably more than tons of millions of text, right? So it seems to me like from a machine learning practitioner side that it has probably seen a lot of articles on this, but if you don't want this, you can always edit it out, expand it again, etc. Right? So think of it as like all these raw materials you have, all the steroids, but which one to choose is your call, right? Now this was the demonstration of Write-More feature, which is again a bit of a lazy feature. What else do we have? You can expand more outlines. Like if you want, like let's say some extra outline, you think that the blog you had generated 3 outlines, but now you change your mind and you feel that you need some more. So you can always either type it out or you can just click on this, and based on this you can add more outline. So now why have we given this feature? Because what we have seen is that sometimes so it has given you 3 new outlines, and the reason that sometimes we ask you to generate the last line to produce these outlines, because again, this is rather taught to us by some of the expert among you, some of the SEO marketers or content marketers or writers from you, who told us that the new outline sometimes is basically leading from the previous text they have written, right? So they would kind of finish the paragraph, and then this will lead to a sort of a neat juncture where they'll now create another thing, right? So therefore, it's a good idea, we thought, that to use this selection itself, in order to actually create a outline, right? Rather than randomly. So you can definitely type it out, edit it out, delete, whatever, right? So, but if you were to ask our opinion or based on our learning, it's a good idea to use the last couple of lines or so in order to produce the subsequent outlines. Okay, so this is about outline. Now what else? Let's see if I missed on something. Yeah. So rephrase is pretty much self-explanatory. Let's say, I'll select a short one, and you want it to be written in another way. Let's see. Okay, some nonsense is given. Yeah, it happens sometimes. I just want one thing. So I had AI has already begun to drastically alter the workflows. So I think this itself is a pretty much of a good rephraser, even a creative rephraser of sorts, right? For some reason, it has kind of gone ahead a bit and tried to give you a couple of extra lines, a bit repetitive. Let's see what happens here. Okay. So if you were to compare it, so it says that experts predict that in future, more and more tasks will be automated, etc. And what was the earlier line? Yeah. So pretty much what the sense is same, right? So I think rephraser, if you do it correctly, tend to work pretty well and pretty as much, pretty sensibly rather. Now, couple of failure modes of rephraser are that once you try to rephrase, let's say a very short line, like let's say word over, there's not much. First of all, there is a limit, and also that if you do something which is pretty much of a standard line, let's say Joe Biden is the president of United States of America, like there's nothing to rephrase really, right? So in those scenarios, it will probably fail or it will produce the same content, etc. But anything which can be written a bit creatively, try to kind of wear its creative cap, so to speak, and then rephrase it while retaining the meaning. So this is pretty much working more or less as we think expected, and it's being useful, so what we have seen that lots of our users use it as a like once they generate the whole blog, then they would do some kind of fine tuning or giving it a final touch. That's where they'll use this rephraser thing. So again, some bit of a note here. This is again like based on what we have seen. I'll also mention that some of you have asked that we have not have enough of the tutorials, etc. This is completely correct, and we are working on and rather partnering also with few of you. And by the way, if some of you are interested, you can definitely reach out to us if you are interested in partnering to produce niche specific writing. Like for example, we have seen that, let's say, a writing style which is good for tech articles may not be like super repeatable for, let's say, a real estate article, right? So what we are doing is that we are in the process of producing lots of short and long webinars, tutorials, and let's say best practices documents for each of some general and some specific to the niche, right? So this is something just be mindful of. And as I said, you can, if you are the person who would like to do it yourself and you would like to partner with us even in some sense of professional capacity, we are all game. It's definitely welcome. So just trying to finish what is left out of it. Okay, so I think one of the important thing left to demonstrate is instruct me, right? So instruct me is more of a so while write more was the kind of laziest feature we have, instruct me is the most creative or the most sort of flexible. And what it does is that once you click on it, you can tell it whatever you want really. It does not even have to, it does look at the content already written, but in principle, you don't have to really, abide by anything. You can keep on, you can basically give it anything, not even congruent to what you have already written. But it is sensible to do, be in line with what you have written. So I'll do that, and I'll let's say I'll tell it that write up a paragraph. On pitfalls of AI, right? Let's see if it does it. Okay, so it does pretty much what is asked to do, right? So like it is also in some sense used to get you out of your creative block, if you were, but it is also used to, let's say, you can also use after this, right? You don't want to use write more or expand content, or maybe you're not getting really good generation sort of suggestions. So you can always say that, let's say this is already being written. Some hypothesize that AI could bring more prosperous future and other. So you can just, let's say it here. You can say, what do let's say I don't know, chess players think of AI. I mean, I'm probably not thinking enough, but you get the idea. So pretty much in line with what we wanted to do, right? You can maybe remove this and add it here. So this is like some sticking something here and cutting it out from there. What I mean, basically, it's like try to understand that it is something which you wish you would have done had you had like maybe like 4 extra hands and one sort of extra piece of your cerebrum, right? So this is pretty much what it tries to do. The core thing has to be you and has to be guided by you. So I think I covered pretty much the more or less what is the main like the sort of on the table. I'll make a quick remark on some bookkeeping things. So you can always check whatever the credits left are here, and you can always manage a subscription. Some people ask that yes, we have a team mode, and where you can add any member, and then we allow up to 4 additional team members. And also you can, like, I can't show you here because I have not in this particular account added anybody else. But once you add external team member, you can always choose to generate either in your private mode or in the team mode. So that if you do any, like, once you have added somebody else in your team, right? So by default, everything will be visible to both of you. But if you want, you can choose it to be private. So we have both options, because this is a need we have been sort of asked to, so I think this is sensible request, and so far the tool supports it. Other things are self-explanatory. If you want, you can have a look. This product copy is also an often asked feature. So we have developed something called product review and product description, because lots of long form writers also need this time to time, that they would want to write a description. So you can generate this description here, and while pasting in your main blog, if you were to just generate a blog. Okay, so I think and just to finish this sort of our roadmap on this. So there is a roadmap which probably is not updated as of the day, but we keep on updating it time to time, and which will also inform you that what are the new things coming. Like, for example, an often asked request is language support, which is something we are actively working on. Few of the things I already mentioned, and the other things are the big ones are that will be integrating niche specific support. So we start with some 12 niche, and then where you can, while you are doing all this generation, right? And let's say you don't get a good generation, so and then there is a drop down button, and you just select tech. So now it is going to focus more on writing how tech articles are written, right? So I think this is hopefully a really big game changing feature, and we are super excited by it. You are free to so I'll just show you the roadmap actually. So feel free to actually comment something on the roadmap directly, and or add your own sort of feature. So we do look at, sometimes there is a Slack from us, but we tend to look at it from time to time. So I'll go back again to the question answering window, and let's see if there are something which are left unanswered, etc. So somebody has pasted something. I'm not sure what is it. Yeah, I think I think I was talking about I think the user I believe KG, right? So you basically were talking about this, which I just showed, the manage account thing. How deep is the niche type? So yes, this is a good question. So I mean, so far I'll just share with the group, and maybe I'll shoot out an emailer. So basically mentioning these niche. So niche are, yeah. So I'll just come to this niche and sub niche. So initially the niche will be a bit high level, in the sense that the niche will be of the sort that food or product review, or tech product review, or things like fashion and lifestyle, and maybe not super granular. But then we will, so top 12, depending on the user feedback we have obtained thus far, and also some of the literature we have seen or the experts we have talked to. But then depending on, as a software product, we have to be in some sense driven by what is needed, right? So as we go along, yes, top level first, and as we go along, we'll dive deeper. And I think I explained in the beginning that again, a game changer feature which is being developed is basically you can upload your own content, and we are going to basically use all this content in order to tune to you. So this probably is a feature which is a bit about 2 to 3 months because this is a hard feature. We have to do a lot of things in order to make it satisfactory for you. So maybe there'll be a bit of delay, 2 to 3 months at least. But once this feature is live, then there is no question of niche, right? Anymore, because it can be the niche would be you now, right? If you have already a backlog of some content you already written, you want to tell us. So this is what we plan to do. Anything else? Instruct me. Yeah. So with Instruct me, you can send custom text generation request to AI. Yeah, of course you can. And I think, yeah, so there's some people actually Instruct me is the coolest one. So thanks. And so you can pick your own. My favorite is Unstuck Me. It still remains Unstuck Me, but I'm probably biased. But then, you can maybe have your own pick. Anything else? Maybe I'm missing. So, and maybe I have not really checked back. So you can definitely tell me. Maybe type it again. Albert, is there an option for users to speak? Maybe.
Do what?
Can they actually unmute themselves and speak? Is there an option in this?
I don't understand the question.
I'm asking that, is it possible for the audience to unmute and speak the question? Unmute themselves, I'm asking.
Or unmute the question?
Unmute.
No.
Okay. I see. Okay.
They can't.
Okay. So I think, guys, if you, folks rather, if you want, you can just type it again if I probably missed it. So KG has asked another question. Can we create a long paragraph with just keywords input? Yes, you can. You ask it to just create so if you're not getting enough paragraph, you can do one of these things. You can ask it to create, let me do it, right? Let me use Unstuck Me. Create a Let's see what it does. About AI in medicine. I'm not sure how long we'll give. Okay, so not super long, but then I can. So I think what it does, it kind of sometimes veers it off again because of sometimes limits also. But it will, then you can use the other tricks of the trade, right? Like you can just click on write more. Okay, so it has seen a lot of other things. So this is a bit, this is not what we want. In write more, we only want. So I think it will be better because you want to now only talk about medicine. Okay, so let me use rather expand content here. Okay, this much sort of, I can, so this is a question. So I can actually make it a headline rather. And I can actually generate an intro for this. Let's see. Let me try this. Let me just put radiology here. Not getting enough ideas about radiology. Let's see what this says. Yeah. Okay. So I think pretty accurate, right? So this is how. So again, like the you see what I did? What, like, it produced a question at the end, and I thought that it is not a good idea to have a question at the end of the paragraph, but I can reuse this question to actually make it a sub headline, right, or an outline, and then start my journey. So these are some of the tricks. Let me go back to the menu and see what else. Okay, cool. So yeah, see, I mean, lots of people are actually confused about this AI tool versus that AI tool. See, what our understanding, maybe this is because like I this is my second startup, so I'm not maybe that finicky about like, see, the competition means good. Like we are all in some sense the same race. You pick your, I mean, if you want to use something else, I'm not going to name names. You use that too, or if you want to use both of us, that's great, right? So it's like it's not a winner takes all industry. It's not like if it's not Facebook, that you have to have your friends either in Facebook or in Orkut for all I'm not sure even if you recall. So I'm old enough to recall something called Orkut, which used to be a famous thing, but is of course dead now. So now, this is not an industry where you have to have only, like, we are focused a bit on long form and, optimized content, etc. Maybe there are others which are more focused on ads, right? So we don't want to have what is referred to as, like, we don't want to have the full spread. So this is not like a buffet in a typical, restaurant where you can. So this is more of a, like this is more of a sort of opinionated meal, so to speak. And I think that is, we believe that this is going to add more value, because having generic things of various varieties, not what we intended to do as a startup. So again, the point is that, like, choose your own pick. If you are happy with other competitors or players, great. You can use both of us. You can tell us. So, and etc. Right. So, a couple of other questions show on FAQ tool. So yeah, FAQ tool is also pretty straightforward. Like, you can go here and maybe pick something, IKEA, and then just generate FAQs. So this was a pre-selected thing, in order to just explain, like, like what is the workflow. You can write whatever you want. If you, like this is all options we have given to try it out, as the name suggests. So, and like, there's nothing preventing you from using this in your blog. So you can just copy paste from here. There is a copy to clipboard, and you can just paste it in the blog. We'll be developing some better design flows so that you don't have to kind of shift back. So these are all like more of a UI UX things we are actively working on. And what else? There is another question of the sort that AI image. Yeah. So AI image. Yeah. Some few people are curious about AI image. So so this was not the part of the demo, but the idea is that, you know, AI. So what our thought of AI, what we are developing on AI image is this. So you know, a full-fledged blog post invariably will have images, right? So far the tool doesn't support it, but let's say you want an image which is, let's say, for this chess players in AI. So soon we'll bring in an option where you can just, you know, let, for example, similar to expand content button, you can select this content, and here'll be, there'll be you know, sort of call out option saying something like AI image. So what it will do is that it will scan the web for open source image of AI. So you know, exactly about this line as near as possible. So chess players in AI, making sure that it's openly available, there's no copyright, etc. So this is the version 1 of AI image, right, which we are going to release. So I mean, the idea is that it's easy to get AI images, openly available images even, but it might not be very, you know, fast enough for you to search for images exactly attuned to what you're writing. In V2, we are going, so this is the version 1 we'll launch. I think the roadmap will be something like end of September or mid-October. But in the V2, and this might be a bit of a standalone feature or a separate feature, where we are also working on a piece of technology where you can actually generate the image, like the image which, so some of you might be aware of the AI's capabilities to generate the image from scratch. So it need not be image already published. So this is also what we have worked on. But what we've seen in our internal experiments is that, you know, this does not, so far it has not given us super great outputs. So we will not be releasing it in the V1. So AI images, again, like just to sort of recap, in the V1, and I think this will still be a good enough, or rather useful enough for lots of you, is that, you know, it will going to give you in contextual, openly available, copyright-free images for the selected text. And in the V2, it is going to give you generated from scratch images. I hope that answers. Yeah. So plagiarism check, right? Now, I have a sort of a bone to pick with plagiarism check. You know, the point is that so we are pretty clear that we are not going to develop our plagiarism checkers, because I think this is not what we also in line with what we are doing. But so we invite you to use your own plagiarism checkers. Some are free, but if it is a need, we can integrate with some third-party plagiarism checker also. Now, the point is that I believe that, you know, plagiarism checker is something which is not super needed. I mean, because, you know, like maybe this is lots of you are coming from the world where there used to be a plagiarized content. There will still be, but this will be much less, like far less minimized, and like the plagiarism or the repetition of the content from the web will be limited to a couple of lines, which nobody is going to have any issue with, right? So the plagiarism happens when you are going to pick entire paragraph or more, right? This is not going to happen. Like, or it is going to happen so rarely that it is not worth investing in that, right? So I think that with time, the demand for this will go down. But I think, you know, since lots of clients actually demand for plagiarism free as a copy escape score and stuff like that. So we understand the need for it, at least so far. But I think by another year there'll be no more need. So two quick questions. I'll just be kind of summarizing it in a minute or so. So boss mode, Jarvis, again. So I'm not going to name anything or compare us directly to anybody. But see, I mean, I'll rather give you a tangential answer. So lots of tools you speak of, or rather fancy tools, they are also because of some extra, you know, extra, in some sense, leverages they have. They have been given some extra rights from a few of these AI organizations like OpenAI, right? Now, there are some reasons to it, because they were one of the early adopters, they had VC backing and all those things, right? Now, as I told you that, you know, and again, don't quote me on it, but I know this because we are also on these tools. This is going to revise very soon. So just because somebody has a prior access, I mean, this is not a great idea, because this is going to kind of level up in a month or two. So the boss mode, as far as I know, is basically when it looks at a really, you know, huge piece of content long back. But again, like whatever, you know, access they have, we or others will also have pretty soon. So then it is up to being using that, and whatever our proprietary tech or our own sort of, you know, skills, you know, cool new stuff, internal stuff is. So I think this is what it is. Now, okay, one interesting question, FAQ is scraping from the surface. Now, this is really interesting question because it so happened that this is something we are going to release in, I think, next week or so. So far FAQ does look at the headline only, like that, sorry, topic only, but does not do too much of web scraping or rather SERP scraping. But yes, this is something which we have gotten a lot of requests. So FAQ is going to also be SERP aware pretty soon, like I think in a week or so. Can you add Vietnamese languages? So I think, sir, the honest answer would be that we are going to go live first with few of the more popular languages. No offense with Vietnamese, but I think this is purely in line with what we have seen. Our audience is sort of, audience demographic, so to speak, right? So English, of course, is the biggest, but then there are some European languages like German, Spanish, and French, Italian, Portuguese, even Brazilian Portuguese to be precise. So those will be the first supported. But our dream, of course, like the point is that we are going to expand on it. And the idea is that we are going to expand on about 40 to 50 top languages, right? So this will be, I think, in 6 months or rather 8 to 9 months time, you'll definitely see a lot of support. Vietnamese, I cannot comment the timing precisely. It will not be covered in the first cut. And the simple reason is not that I do not love Vietnamese, but because, this is just based on our demographic stats so far. So if you ask your friends to use, like ask Vietnamese friends to use the product, and then maybe, we change our mind. Okay, so anything else? Any other question I missed? I'm not sure.
I think you have
pretty much covered it, right?
Yeah, more or less has been answered. So
yeah. Awesome.
Okay, so maybe we will show our face. We do a recap and summary because now it's 15 minutes overshot,
Yeah, we have. It's been exciting, so I don't mind it. I hope you guys also don't.
Yeah, I won't stop you. Just now at 10 o'clock.
So others have other. There are other questions I'm seeing. So just for the interest of time, I'll pause here. And if you have any other question, feel free to reach out to me. Join our Facebook group. Also, you can kind of discuss it there. And I'll just kind of. So Albert is fine if I paste my Facebook group here.
Yes.
Sure. Thanks.
So turn on your video, Anko.
Yeah, just a second. I think it has. Okay, sorry.
Okay, guys. I think this is a long webinar, so I purposely not to stop Anko from speaking because I know that he has a lot of things to say. So I also know that he has a lot of knowledge behind all these things. So one very good question that has always been asked, by somebody to me and to him as well. Which tool is the best tool, and what tool is replacing what tools, So these are the difficult questions, So personally, I use so many tools, but in actual fact, when I write a blog, I actually write from scratch, if I really want to write a good blog. But these tools are actually helping me. We are not going to replace me, So that's my opinion. So for AI, you have to use it wisely, rather than use it, let him control over you, because AI is going to be, very popular. By come October, you have a level playing field already. OpenAI is going to open up.
That's what their documentation told us. They're like, their professionals told us. Again, don't catch my neck for this, but I'm just sharing the inside information.
Yeah, I think it's quite obvious, but you can see that almost every day a new AI tool is coming on. Every day, either in AppSumo or in the wild or whatever places. So we have to be careful, because we cannot keep on buying all the tools. To be frank, there's no way you can buy all the tools. So
yeah, that's true.
So with this, I think we have a good interaction today. And Uncle, one more thing, that we forgot the giveaway, because I think it's quite difficult to do the giveaway now. So maybe we will do it tomorrow. I'll discuss with you later.
Yeah,
announce it tomorrow. Yeah,
absolutely.
So guys, thank you for your attention here. I think we have close to 40 attendees, active attendees in our webinar, which is a good number. And I would like to thank Anko, for his knowledge, and also for the long shot. It really go for the long shot. So and thank you guys, for your attention, and you have what I call ask a lot of good question. So if you are interested, do what they call buy it, while the thing is still available, because or else it.
Yeah. So
will
yeah,
go
just
out
an
in 4 days,
Yeah.
So can you see the screen? Just click the buy lifetime deal now, then you can get it now.
So it's going to, so our LTD, by the way, for LTD enthusiasts in you, like among you, and who have not yet bought our LTD, and if you are interested, so we are going to, like we have run a crazily successful, like at least for us, like we had overshot our benchmark, and we are actually, ended the LTD on 15th, but then we kind of brought it back on 16th. But then this is going to, like, we have to have some internal sort of deadlines to it. So we are going to end our LTD on 31st, strictly this month. So, like if you're interested, then please go ahead and you can still, buy it.
Okay. So that's all we have. And we'd like to say thank you to everybody. If possible, give a thumb up to everybody. You see send a thumbs up now at the bottom of your screen, So, okay. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Albert, for, kind of sort of hosting me and also giving me this opportunity. I think it was fantastic and kind of, partnering with you. And I hope to do it again, like sometime.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.